back. Today we have another tool unboxing video, and this one shouldn't be as long as the last two. There's only a couple different tools here, and at the end there's some subscriber tools that were donated to me also, and some hats, stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. First thing we'll do is start out with the tools that I actually purchased, and again, I did purchase these. I researched them, and then I found what works in my budget, and then I actually purchased them. No one sent me these tools for review or for sponsorship reasons. These are my own honest opinions about these tools. This one right here I'll start off with is a digital caliper, and the calipers in general are very useful, and digital ones with this size readout on here is definitely very useful. Now this is what I started out with. It's a very basic micrometer, and it's 0 to 1 inch. The first problem is it doesn't read so well on the little window in here. The second problem is it's only measures outside diameters, and then it's in inches. And then it only goes up to 1 inch. So that's a big problem. It's good for some stuff. It's pretty accurate, but what I need is something that can do just about everything I need to. And this one can measure inside, outside, and depth on there, and it's all very accurate on here. Now this one I did a lot of research on because I wanted one that was, $30 or so, but wasn't, gonna be off every time you rechecked the same component. So this one has a good repeatability to it, and it has a really high quality construction according to a couple of users out there that have bought them. So we'll check it out on here. Turn it on. How you turn it on? Hold it. Okay, so you can see it starts off in millimeter on there, then it has the inches, and then it can even go into fractional, which I would probably never use. So I'm just going to stick with millimeter. At just about every spec from Ford nowadays is millimeter, just about everything. So you just go back and forth, and you can measure the outside diameter or something. Like let's say this right here. We'll measure this on the outside. You see how you can use it like that, and then you can also measure the inside. Let's say you want to measure the inside of this thing inside of here. So I can measure the inside and the outside that fast. And the other cool thing is, look at this down here. It has a depth micrometer, I guess you could say, on there. It's a depth gauge on there. So isn't that cool? It's good for transmission, stuff like that. So overall, this thing has a good repeatability, and the quality of the steel on here is really high quality on here. It's a stainless steel construction, and it just feels it has a lot of heft to it. So it should be really good for what I need. I'm not building race engines, but I do need something that's pretty decent, and this seems to be the one to get, I guess. Next up is this right here. Believe it or not, I have never owned one of these. I have just about every other chisel attachment, like regular chisels, weird ones. See that angle on there? This one, it's a regular chisel, different lengths. I have pneumatic attachments for the pickle forks. I have a regular nose cone like that looking one. That's really useful, but I do not own one of these, and these are very useful for hammering out ball joints and U-joints and stuff like that are really stuck in there, and you need that vibration from the air hammer to kind of vibrate them out. It's very, very useful. Now this one I picked because it has the longer length to it, the 7 inches overall, whereas the other one was supposed to be 5 3/4 or something like that, but in all reality it was like this down, so it's like 3.5 or so, and it could never vibrate out enough to do anything. So I made sure I got the longer one that could actually do some work. And look at the head on there. It's like a regular hammer head, so it has a lot of metal up here, and it should be able to transfer the hammering effect down and out to the ball joints. I cannot wait to use this thing. These things are absolutely awesome if you own an air hammer and you plan on doing anything on rusty suspensions or anything like that. Now this one is one I'm really interested in. I told you it'd be cool stuff today. What it is a Wi-Fi interface to your OBD2 port that'll talk to iOS devices. So think your iPad, your iPhone, and it has the ELM327 or whatever interface that's compatible with the 4Scan software. I already purchased the 4Scan software on my iPhone, so I'm very interested to plug this thing in and try it out. Supposedly it has just about every function that the IDS scan tool does, just about, and it'll be great for me to have this in the car at all times, ready to go. Of course, I have my phone with me in case I don't have my scan tool. Plug it in, and I'll be able to get power balance, stuff like that on there. So that's really cool. I cannot wait to try this out. I'm actually going over to a house today to try it out, just to see what it can and cannot do. So that's really, really cool. I think it was like $18 for this thing. This is the latest version from ieGeek. So we'll see how good this works. Awesome. And this right here is absolutely awesome. This is necessary in a Ford shop for sure. Let them know you're only using those genuine Ford parts, and I truly believe in that. For just about everything I work on, if possible, I'll use Ford parts. They just work every time. It's great. Now this one you won't believe, I've never owned a grease gun. We had one by the lube rack in the shop, and I just used that once in a while when I saw vehicles that actually had Zerk fittings. Nowadays, most of the vehicles don't even have them, but I'm sure I'll run across it, and I wanted a decent gun that actually worked. And this one's different because this one actually has an air bleed on it, so that's great. And of course the construction is really solid, so you're going to actually be able to pump that grease out of there and not bypass the seal inside of there. So we'll open it up and look at it real quick. I mean, it's really heavy-duty construction. Now, it comes with an extra long hose on here. I think it's like 18 inches or something like that. The only thing I don't like is a solid piece right here for greasing stuff. And if you unscrew it on here and just put it onto one of these ends, it's still kind of like a rigid piece on here. It can be hard to get in certain areas. So I might get a flex head version later on. But the big reason I bought this was this freaking baby right here. Look at this thing. Look at the head on this thing, how strong it is, and it's just built really well. And this is the kind I want. You know, I have a pistol grip grease gun, so you can look at that. That just feels absolutely awesome. I mean, it really does. It has the automatic air bleed, like I said, which is really nice. Get the air pockets out of the grease inside of there, and look at the size of the tube on here. It's extra large capacity in there. Now this one is my first high quality, high power air hammer that I've ever owned. Before I had a cheapy one when I first started out, obviously, and I upgraded to a Husky brand. It's been used quite a bit over the years. Look at this thing. It's actually pretty powerful, but it's just blowing air off in the bottom here just about a few months after I've owned it, and now it just pours out of there and it's kind of useless. So it's time to upgrade. And for air tools, I just about always go to Ingersoll Rand. And let's see if we can get this cover off of here. So they have a regular series, and then they have a max series. And then in the max series, they have a long barrel and a short barrel, or a standard barrel. And the standard barrel max series is what this is. It's got a really nice case. Look at that. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. So what's nice is that what it has on here is a quick change head on here instead of the old spring style, which I'd never really had a chance to use before, but sounds good to me. That's one of the biggest pains of using an air hammer, is the changing the bits on there. Oh yeah. Look at that. That is absolutely awesome. So you screw that onto there. Has a couple different bits in here. This is a curved, like, fork bit. Look at that thing. Look at that. That is absolutely weird. So there's a couple different bits in here that I don't have already. So I'll be able to use those. Nice. And let's go on to the main event here. Look at this thing. Alright. So it's got a good feel to it. And it's right there. It's centered in the head on here. So it has a... It just feels evenly distributed on there. And the handle's pretty nice. So we'll see how responsive the actual trigger is on here and stuff like that. But it feels really good, like especially right here. You don't want that beating in you because that's me going back and forth, a lot of vibration. And I think these reduce vibration also are a little quieter than a cheapy version of their stuff also. So I'll be very interested to try this thing out. Look at this thing. It's like a silencer. Look at this thing. Look at this. This is absolutely nuts. See, let's put that onto there. Awesome, 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 awesome. Look at this thing. I cannot wait to start being able to use this thing.